welcome back to this terrific Tuesday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. Joining me in this segment here in the number 2 spot, of course, my co-host Frank Morano, managing editor of Liquid Lunch TV, joins me. And before going to Lisa, the love coach, founder of LoveQuest, just let me remind you, down at the New York Stock Exchange, Dow is down about 40 points, holding that 27,000 level. But Bitcoin is getting slapped in the head, down $700 on the day, and 10,000, just holding above that 10,000 point. Under there could be a trapdoor, so be careful. And be careful for what you're about to see next, because joining us by Skype from South Florida is Lisa, the love coach, Concepcion. And Lisa, thank you for coming to us on Skype today. We really appreciate it. Lisa's also part of the morning team on the VIP on AM 1210, The Man in Miami and South Florida, 50,000 watt channel, talking about all things cool. And she's the coolest. I met her a few weeks ago when I was down in Miami, and I've been following her Facebook posts on, you know, how to empower yourself and how to find positive relationships in life. And I think that you have a lot to impart on our audience, and certainly Frank, who just got engaged.
That's true.
Oh, exciting times.
So, Lisa, tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going on with dating. We had another dating coach on a couple months ago, and she was talking about that some women are actually excluding people. Well, if they like Trump, I don't even want to consider it.
Yeah, well, the political landscape is definitely a factor in dating in America, as you could imagine, on both sides. I mean, we have plenty of conservative people out there who don't want to date people with liberal leanings. And then we also have people who are more liberal who won't date people with conservative leanings. So I guess the best bet is to just have an open mind and, you know, kind of linger somewhere in the middle where you can both exchange ideas fairly and, you know, have some really good conversation, but not turn it into a big political war.
Aside from being a fantastic radio host, you work with young people and people of all ages to kind of find that positive energy, which is really important. What are the key things that people fail to realize that keep them in a rut?
Oh, what a great question. Yeah, the worst thing is routine and the lack of interest in doing things that are new. And people find themselves clinging to comfort zones. And as we know, anything that is a comfort zone keeps us safe and stagnant. So sometimes I like to recommend for the people who have been married a while and they want to shake things up to take up a new hobby that they can do together. I had this really cool couple. They were reconnecting after they had empty nest situation happening with their children leaving to go to college. They had a kid in college and then another one left. So they were finally on their own, kids out of the house. And they turned to each other like, what are we going to do now with all this square footage? We have nothing to do. So they started to do wine tastings and cooking classes. And they started to build their own new network of friendships. And they were able to reconnect with themselves, have some cool hobbies that they enjoyed to do, new things that they didn't even know they liked, and they were open to trying new things. So that's always the key, is you got to keep things fresh and interesting and be open to trying new things. You can't just sit on the couch and do Netflix all the time.
Lisa, going back to John's point about political differences in relationships, my fiance and I, we actually very rarely discuss politics, but there are so many couples that politics or following the news, it's a big part of their lives. It's a big part of their interest. Do you find that people who are passionate about politics have a difficult time being in a relationship with someone who might be on the other side politically, or does it sometimes produce better sexual tension and better discussions?
Well, you know, look, as long as conversations are coming from a place of love and a place of understanding and not a place of adversity and collide, you know, you don't want to have that kind of adversarial thing going on in a relationship of any kind. I think it could definitely stir some good conversation. I know my boyfriend and I often talk about, political climate. We're both very middle. I lean a little more conservative middle. He's a little more left middle. So either way, we could get into it from time to time. But,
I find those discussions healthy. I mean, do you?
It is. Absolutely, it is. And I think, provided that the communication is given from a place of respect and a place of just not getting personal. And I find that if you look at what goes on in social media, if that is any reflection of what's going on in dating, that's a problem, because people are very antagonistic on both sides. They're very combative. And so if you're going to a dating situation where, you're meeting somebody for the first time and you hit them with, some political rhetoric, it could really sour the date pretty quickly.
But
if you're dealing with somebody that you know for years and years and years, and then you're just on this side of things and he's on the other, or vice versa, it could lend to a really good conversation. You know each other, you have history, you have rapport. Just keep it respectful and be open to seeing and hearing another side.
Now, I know John needs a lot of love advice, so I don't want to take away from his opportunity to get free love coaching advice from you for free. But I do have one last question, and that is, 40, 50, 60 years ago, there was no such thing as a love life coach, and yet it seemed like people just stayed married for their whole lives. Why in the 21st century has the need for a love life coach developed? What has become of relationships in the present day and age?
Wow, phenomenal question. I'm glad you asked it. What I'm seeing is just there's this vibe, this energy where people enter marriage for the wrong reasons when they're in their 20s and 30s. They have yet to evolve into the person that they know truly to be. They haven't had enough experience yet. They're having children much later. There's been many more economic advancements, technology and birth control, obviously, that can delay parenting and child rearing. So obviously, when we have more options in our society, certain things that require more commitment are often put off. And so then we can pursue other interests. We could pursue other passions in life. And it seems that, there are people who are getting involved in marriage and what have you in their 20s and 30s, but then they go through this journey and they go through life and they raise some children. And then all of a sudden they're in their 40s and they're looking at each other like, what did we do? That's like, I'm a completely different person than I was. Now what? Who am I now? Is this even the right person for me?
So,
and if you also look at professional careers, how many people would start working in their 20s and then by 50 they get the gold watch and they worked at the same company forever? That's not the same anymore. So the relationships mirror that a lot. Sure. The more choices, the more opportunity we have. The more freedom we want, right?
In the last minute, I need you to give me some good advice. I'm a single man. I'm really struggling because I focus on my career and my kids a lot. So as of yesterday, I just got a new girlfriend.
Congratulations.
We had
Very nice.
Miss June cover girl, Francia James, Playboy cover girl, was on yesterday. And now I'm dating her. She's
amazing.
Not fully aware of it yet, but my problem that I'm having is this. I feel like she likes me for the wrong reasons. Like, I feel like she just wants me for my body. She doesn't understand my intellect. What do I do? How do I figure that out?
I can empathize. I know what that is. Listen, be aware of all of your gifts and give them all from the heart, and you can't go wrong. You know who you are, and you know what you have to offer. It's up to them to appreciate it or not.
Lisa, give us your website real quick in case people want to find out more about you.
Absolutely. You can find me at LoveQuestCoaching.com. There I have a free love life assessment that you can do with me directly.
Awesome. Concepcion, I want to come on the VIP on the man very soon. And we're going to check in with you from time to time when I need some coaching advice. You're the best. Go to LoveQuestCoaching.com.